What's going on, noobs? I am Rory, the Perpetual Noob, and welcome back to another exciting Hollow Knight boss discussion. This is the 18th video in a series where I'll be discussing each boss of Hollow Knight, where we can find them, how we can defeat them, and how does this boss fit into the world of Hollow Knight. Today we'll be talking about Nosk. We find Nosk deep within Deep Nest, hidden behind a couple breakable walls. We're also going to need the Monarch Wings to reach this boss. We'll find the first breakable wall in the lower center of Deep Nest. This leads to a room with a grub. Just above that grub is the second breakable wall. Then we need to travel through a small maze of claustrophobia-inducing tunnels full of dead bodies. As we wander through these tunnels, we'll sometimes see a bug that looks exactly like us. Who is this other vessel? As we near the end of a long tunnel, a series of walls will drop behind us, forcing us to continue forward. Then we enter a large room full of dead bodies, but there, in the center, is our twin vessel waiting for us, right? As we near them, our twin contorts, twists, and transforms into the monstrous bug that is Nosk. This hideous monster screams, and the battle begins. Nosk rapidly crawls towards us. They will traverse their entire lair with this attack, and they do not stop if they hit us. Nosk telegraphs this attack when they stand up tall and screech. Then they return to their normal hunched over posture and start crawling. Let's call this attack the Charge Attack. Nosk will spew 2 blobs of infection at their feet, and 16 more blobs everywhere else in 2 parabolic arcs. Nosk tends to run up close to us before they shoot these blobs. Nosk telegraphs this attack when they stand up tall and screech for longer and at a lower pitch than the charge attack. Nosk will remain standing as blobs of infection erupt from their gooey orange center. A short time after they're done expelling all 18 blobs, Nosk returns to their terrifying hunched over posture. Let's call this attack the Eruption Attack. Nosk will leap around their lair. It's difficult to call this precisely an attack because Nosk will leap to move around their lair, but will also at times most definitely leap to us, trying to kill us. Nosk telegraphs this attack when they take not even a quarter of a second to crouch down before leaping into the air. Let's call this attack the Leap Attack. Nosk will leap to the top of their lair, disappearing from sight and rain blobs of infection down on our pretty little head. Nosk will stay out of sight for about 6.5 seconds, dropping 1 blob or 2 every half second after the first blob. Nosk can take about 1.5 seconds upstairs before dropping the first blob. We can track Nosk's position by watching the dust falling from the ceiling. Nosk telegraphs this attack when they perform a leap attack, but instead of leaping around their lair, they leap straight up. While they're in the ceiling, we can watch the dust to know where the blobs will be coming from. We'll know Nosk is coming back down because the dust cloud will grow to accommodate Nosk's large size, and we'll hear them scream before they return to the lair's floor. Let's call this whole process the Rain Attack. Nosk is a quick boss, and that caught me off guard a lot. I fell prey to their charge attack often, and took at least 1 leap attack to the face. Full disclosure, I defeated Nosk the first time I encountered them, and never saw their rain or eruption attacks. Those will be discussed in the other tactics section. Despite taking so many hits to my beautiful face, I never felt like I was in any danger. I had my coiled nail, 8 hit points, the shade cloak, a ton of charms, and lots of experience with other boss fights. Honestly, I felt a little overpowered. Having the Shade Cloak nullified most of Nosk's arsenal, certainly the charge attack. I could just stand and wait for Nosk to charge through, then dash towards them with the Shade Cloak. Much like the Collector, it was a lot safer for me to stay on the ground, otherwise I was liable to take a leap to the face. But if the Shade Cloak was on cooldown, I'd have to jump over Nosk's charge attack, and that required some quick timing because that charge attack is fast. If I didn't jump early enough, I was getting run over. I did find that jumping over the charge attack gave me a better opportunity to strike Nosk instead of dashing through them because Nosk was so quick that by the time I'd turn around, I'd have to chase them, and we're not fast enough to catch them. Near the end of the fight, I discovered the spot. Nosk's lair contains a raised platform in its center. This platform sits higher on the left than it does on the right. This means that if we hug this left edge good and tight, we are safe from every charge attack that goes from right to left, and we are safe from almost every single leap attack. From this safe spot, we can use an upward slash to just beat the hell out of Nosk. Once I discovered the spot, I could heal and swing my nail almost with impunity. My charms for this fight were Thorns of Agony, Quick Slash, Wayward Compass, Gathering Swarm, Grub Song, and Quick Focus. Thorns of Agony did a lot of work in the fight because, well, Nosk is quick and I hadn't quite learned the timing, or realized the true potential of the spot. Thorns of Agony is great because Nosk wasn't fast enough to outrun the tendrils. Nosk has 550 health, and Thorns of Agony struck them so often that this charm did more than half of Nosk's health as damage. Why yes, I did get hit a lot. Quick Slash is okay against Nosk. It really shines if Nosk hangs out above the spot, but Nosk doesn't tend to do that for very long. The charge attack is so fast that I couldn't get more than a single hit on Nosk as they ran by, either by using a downward slash after jumping away, or an upward slash while hanging out in the spot. For the most part, I found that Quick Slash wasn't an integral part of this fight like it usually is. I had no idea Nosk was waiting for me way down there in the bowels of Deep Nest. In fact, I found Nosk only because I was using the collector's map to find grubs, and above the grub I was led to was another breakable wall. This is why I had Wayward Compass and Gathering Swarm. I wasn't expecting a boss fight. Grub Song is a good charm in general, but against Nosk, it didn't really provide much for me. I started the fight with full soul and didn't attempt to heal after I'd found the spot. And let's be real, what's a spell to me with this playthrough? I was so safe to heal and could get enough soul from nail strikes that I really didn't need Grub Song. A lot of my standard charms proved to be less than essential for this Nosk fight thanks to the spot. I only ever attempted to heal in the spot, and Quick Focus isn't necessary there. We have all of the time in the world to heal in the spot, for the most part. Thanks to the existence of the spot, there really isn't much that needs to be said. Stay in the spot. The spot nullifies almost every attack Nosk has. The spot doesn't nullify the rain attack, the rare leap attack, the rare blob from the Eruption Attack, and charge attacks that go to the right. But honestly, the spot is so good that you only need to worry about the rain attack. You can just tank the charge attacks because there's so much time in between charge attacks that go to the right. If you get caught by the Eruption Attack, a quick dash away is your best bet for surviving. There's a sizable gap between the blobs at Nosk's feet and the blobs that fly in the arc, so you'll want to hang in that space. We've got to keep moving, preferably in one direction, to best dodge the rain attack. Nosk tries to track us with those blobs, so if we stand in one spot, we're going to be in a world of hurt. This is the only attack that isn't nullified by the spot. Desolate Dive isn't a terrible spell option here, but you would need to time it right to maximize its damage. Howling Wraiths, thanks to the spot, would be fantastic against Nosk. Don't forget the Shaman Stone charm to increase your spell damage, and the Spell Twister charm to decrease the soul cost of your spells. Defender's Crest isn't exactly a good charm to use for this fight, because the aura isn't big enough to reach Nosk when we're in the spot. However, there are many charms that work in conjunction with Defender's Crest that would work really well. Charms like Spore Shroom, which would make a very large damaging toxic cloud that would hit Nosk as they stood above the spot when we healed. Spore Shroom's damage without Defender's Crest is less than optimal damage for a boss fight. Another charm that'd be great would be Glowing Womb. Glowing Womb would work with or without Defender's Crest, but our little hatchlings would do more damage with Defender's Crest equipped. Those hatchlings are fast. They could probably catch Nosk during the charge attack. Another fun spot charm would be Dream Shield. Dream Shield's orbiting range means that we could still damage Nosk while we stand safely in the spot. Dream Shield would also help nullify some of the rain attack. I highly recommend upgrading the Mothwing Cloak ability to the Shade Cloak. The Shade Cloak is found at the bottom right of the Abyss, and it grants us the ability to safely dash through enemies and their attacks. Shade Cloak almost completely nullifies everything Nosk can do to us. Equipping the Sharp Shadow charm adds some damage to our near invincibility, which is pretty sweet. I recommend upgrading your nail at the Nailsmith, who resides at the bottom left of the City of Tears. However, The highest we can upgrade our nail for this fight is to the coiled nail. And I recommend finding more charms and charm notches and collecting mask shards to gain more hit points. Please see the Soulmaster video for a more in-depth general discussion about playstyles and charm combinations. Once Nosk is defeated, we can move deeper into their lair and find a single pale ore. Pale ore is a rare pale metal that emanates an icy chill. We need pale ore to upgrade our nail to any strength beyond sharpened. Aside from Nosk being the scariest boss in Hallownest, what are they exactly? From the hunter's notes, mimics the shape of other creatures to lure prey to its lair. The hunter continues, in the deepest darkness, there are beasts who wear faces stolen from your memories and pluck at the strings in your heart. Know yourself and stay strong. That sounds about right. The fact that we saw someone who looked like us is the whole reason we found Nosk in the first place. As we wander along those narrow tunnels, we find various corpses, and when we strike them with our dream nail, we learn that they too were all lured in by visions of lost loved ones. And when we reach Nosk's lair, we find that their mimicry has been quite successful. So many corpses hang from the ceiling of their lair. Corpses of bugs of all shapes and sizes, including what appear to be a few vessels. Nosk is truly a terrifying creature. No one seemed to be immune to its wiles. Now how about the fact that Nosk used our own face to lure us into their lair? When we got on Nosk's radar and they searched our mind, did they find images of other vessels that looked like us? Or did they find only images of us? What does this say about us? Do we have memories of other vessels? Or do we only know what we look like? Do we so desperately want companionship that we are looking anywhere to find it? I'd love to know what is in our memories, because the idea that we encountered other vessels is a mighty interesting thought. Also, kind of sad that despite the life we've had being outside the kingdom and all, there's still only us, or a vessel like us, to lure us into Nosk's lair. The idea that we are that lonely in this world, despite everything, is fairly depressing. That's it for our boss discussion about Nosk. Thank you for joining me today, noobs. Stay tuned for future Hollow Knight boss videos. If you've got any thoughts about Nosk, either about the fight or about them as a part of the world of Hollow Knight, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. I am the Perpetual Noob, and I'll see you all next time.